Hello, and welcome back with another episode of Star Wars Legends. I'm going to do something a bit differently. This is not technically an official video, this is more so of a kind of segue, kind of like a halftime sort of thing. So we'll probably call this one episode 7.5. So with the last episode, we were able to upgrade our units. We got a lot of stuff going, and we've been taking the fight to the alien threat Advent, as well as the Chosen. So I decided to take some advice from some of my viewership, and I decided that maybe I will provide more character for our guys that we have, our troopers that we have. So as you can see here, I have gone and taken the creative liberty to customize each and every clone aside from two, because they're on covert missions. I tried to provide all this sort of variety. I thought that it would be cool to have it to where there's backstories for each one as well. So since we got plated armor, it essentially means that we will have phase 1, but they will be have customization. The customization varies depending on a lot of factors. I like to say that my creativity came from just what they specialized in, giving me an idea on like how to describe them as actual troopers and stuff. A lot of inspiration came from, let's say, for instance, the Clone Wars TV show, where we had, all these different characters and they had their own like armor customizations and stuff. So I thought that'd be pretty neat. So we'll start off from the top. So what I'm going to basically do with this one, so it doesn't take forever, is I'm going to show off the customization. I'm going to read the description, and then I'm going to go over my creative, basically what made me make them how they were. I don't know why I had an issue explaining that. Okay, we'll start off. So we got ourselves Sergeant Copper. Essentially I decided to make him 212, and pretty much with all these I've gone and changed up their legions, their and all that stuff. We got 212, 91st, 501st, 104th, got 327th, all the main ones, and then some other variety too, and even 101st as well. Alright, so basically, with how Copper went, is that I decided to kind of go with something that focused on his versatility with different things and just being an all-around type of character. So essentially, CS9165, also known as Copper, is an astute trooper with a love of landscapes and surveying desert regions. He tries to act as a big brother to the new shinies that get designated to patrol duty in desert areas, so letting them know that it could be worse. You could be cold or guarding bars on Coruscant. He's an opportunist and will do what it takes to get his brothers home. With a lot of these different descriptions that I have for each trooper, I kind of went with a gone to the writing board each time. I looked at their abilities and kind of like their whole atmosphere that they had, and kind of went from there too. I also took the time to look at their stats to kind of give me an idea on maybe, oh well, they're really good on the battlefield, they're not so good on the battlefield, and stuff like that. Also, with it being to where we can also see the days on the Avenger, times he was in the infirmary and moving around, that also does help too. So yeah, I try to keep Copper more of a all-arounder. Cares about his brothers that he's fighting with, willing to do what it takes in order to get it done, and stuff like that. Alright, next we got ourselves Sergeant Talon. Sergeant Talon is also part of the 212. So CS 4115 didn't have any redeeming things to make him stand out. He was a standard trooper serving the Republic on the Outer Rim, and when he was ambushed by local pirates during a patrol. Along with 4 other troopers, he managed to take out the pirates who were moving cages full of native wildlife. He found a bird-like creature who was badly wounded during the battle. He took the name of Talon to commemorate the bird-like creature for fighting for its life and surviving to the end. Again, I kind of based him off of many things. He's got Shake It Off. So you know bounces back. He's willing to get up close and personal. He has this natural aptitude that allows him to pretty much do what it takes in order to get the job done as well, and stuff like that. These stories aren't meant to be like overarching stories. They're more so meant to just like give him a chance to really get a chance to where the ideas are put on paper, and I just kind of work with them, stuff like that. All right, next up we have Sergeant Oz. Now Sergeant Oz, the creative liberty, the creative, you know, man, I should not ever do these late at night, because even though I make it work, it doesn't work. Anyway, I'm wasting time. I essentially made Nas to be kind of like a main character. As you can see, he stands out. You can definitely tell he's 91st. He's got this sort of like commanding sort of thing because of the rangefinder, the pauldron, and stuff like that. But anyway, we'll get to the description of Sergeant Nas. 5659, also known as Nas, was making waves during the earlier years of the Clone Wars. He was an abrasive cold trooper with little regard for consequences. He would argue with his superiors about orders that would lead many troopers to their deaths. Nas seemed to be able to sniff out an ambush in almost any situation, and with time, had his brothers look up to him due to his knack for reading the room, and as well as him being an expert in explosives. He has all these abilities with grenades. He has fire grenades. He has abilities with flash grenades, smoke grenades. You do more, damage with grenades. So I thought that would be a good opportunity to kind of like put that kind of in there, even if it wasn't like the main thing. He's essentially a role model trooper, which we'll move on to our next guy, Sergeant Cycle. Again, another kind of commanding sort of aura, kind of like a role model trooper and stuff like that too. So, Cycle has proven time and time again that he is a by-the-book trooper. He focuses on strategy, leadership tactics, and morale. He loves to be challenged by his superiors and to making outlandish but effective plans to throw the CIS off. When he isn't in combat, he prefers to run simulations and play this planet's game called chess to train his mind. So, I wanted to, at least with this description, kind of provide a real-world aspect. He's currently fighting with a dystopian like Earth where the aliens did win and they're the bad guys. So the resistance has been showing these troopers how they live and what they do in their pastime. So throw that in there, since he is a intelligent trooper that likes to focus on logistics and strategy and stuff like that as well. He also has all these other abilities like Juggernaut. Overseer was a good one. I thought that would be good to kind of add that in there. Steady Hands, him being a by-the-book trooper, good with leadership, morale, and stuff like that. I even gave him a personal combat sim, or so that I gave him more aim, so he could be even more effective on the field. All right, moving on. So we got Sergeant Muck. As you can see, Sergeant Muck's a bit of a... He's definitely different, but I'll get into that. So, Sergeant Muck. Muck is a bit of a wild card. His brothers never really understood his fascination on playing pranks on the locals, so never really bothered to ask him. Until one day, a trooper saw him playing with the local younglings, followed by laughs and giggles. He is charismatic, unyielding, and always willing to put a smile on people's faces rather that be a trooper or a child. Muck is a bit of a weird one. When I was making him, I was gonna make him kind of like another like by the book sort of prodigy. I thought that was interesting, but then I scrapped that idea because I just didn't feel that I wanted to have it to where every trooper was a prodigy in their own area. I wanted them to be different, some good, some bad. Having it to where it's like kind of based off of the idea of like 99 or the Bad Batch and stuff like that. They're completely different and unique to every other trooper. And even though these guys are standard infantry for the most part, they're still people, just like with the Clone Wars. show, where even though we had all these different characters, Rex was good in his own way with different things, Cody was good in his own way with different things, Jesse and Fives and stuff like that. Waxer, Boyle. All right, we're going to move on to Sergeant Skeet. So Skeet was an easily scared trooper that, although had countless hours in training, saw little combat. It was till he was assigned to the 91st Recon that he met Nas. He was frightened due to Nas's abrasive behavior, but until he saw Nas's heroism and willingness to lay down his life for his troopers. He was given a chance to reshape his squad and years later became Nas's 2IC and best friend. I wanted to bring continuity into some of these descriptions. Since Skeet is bonded to Nas, I thought that would be a good way of giving them some sort of like, you know, bondage, a bromance, whatever you want to call it, to where they are actually like they're working together in this. So they're part of the same legion. Skeet was kind of skittish, as you can see. I gave him the kind of, you know, twitchy body language and stuff like that, but he also has all these really good abilities, because at the end of the day or so, he did have countless hours of training, so he does know what he's doing. He's just not very good at combat, and eventually he shaped himself to where he became better and took inspiration from Nas's abilities as well. So it's a good match to keep them together, basically. All right, Sergeant Dredd. He is a 104th guy, and we'll get right into what makes him him. So, CS 5652 wanted nothing more but to see and be in the action since he first donned his armor. Always anxious to shoot the first clanker he could come across, he somewhat got what he wanted, being assigned to the 104th, mainly sitting in the last, patrolling and rescuing slaves from pirates. When given command of a squad, he leads with conviction and justice to finish the fight with honor and glory. So essentially here with Dredd, it kind of gave him this sort of main character vibe as well. The whole scar across his helmet, the whole shield, armor and stuff like that. Just giving him a different vibe. You could tell the difference. Also, again, with some of these guys, I know I was keeping them to where they had the clone trooper voice because they're all clone troopers, but I thought to myself, I like the idea of how the later installments, like later seasons of Clone Wars, Star Wars Clone Wars, had it to where even though it was the same voice, they sounded different. So I took the creative liberty to get voices that are similar enough to allow it to where they could be, you know, usable. With Riddick, for instance, or so, it's not necessarily one-to-one scale, but, you know, here, just take a listen.
I'll let you know. This trip, all a blur. Now, it's not where I'm from, but where I am that matters. So I just walk in, huh?
So stuff like that. Now, I know Riddick is, in his own way, kind of like a not heavy-duty guy. He gets the job done, but he also is very stealthy. But I decided that it'd be cool. Also took inspiration from Republic Commando, since all of Delta Squad are not the same voice. Boss is the closest to being the same voice to the regular troopers, but also has his own quips as well. And then there's also with the rest of the squad, with Scorch, Fixer, and Sev, they have different voices. So that's kind of what I thought. All right. Moving on, we got ourselves Mal. Mal, who is part of the 87th, has been known for being an early bird gets the worm sort of trooper. He stays punctual for routine checks and tends to have a bit of OCD. So much so that he annoys his brothers to no end. When not posted at Naboo gates, you can usually find him sitting back in the barracks, cleaning behind his brother's messes after battle. It may annoy them, but they like it when they have a clean bed to sleep in. Essentially, what the idea of what Mal's like design was that I gave him this sort of like slim fit, but also just like these little doohickeys, shoulder pauldron with ammo, a mortar tube, because I don't have really too many other troopers with a mortar tube. I thought that looked cool. It made him stand out, binocs and everything like that. I did give him the D. Bradley Baker version of the clone trooper voices instead of Tamora Morrison, because I just thought it was different.
Armor's coming apart. Defensive position.
and stuff like that. Give him a happy-go-lucky, you know, he's living his best life, got a bit of OCD. You would think that I'd give him something else, like buy the book or whatever, but I'm also changing it up for different people too. Alright, next one. Sergeant Ton. Sergeant Ton. So, he's my first Shadow Trooper that I made because I remember that Shadow Troopers were a thing, and I thought that was really cool to have something like this. So, when... now mind you, I made most of these descriptions late, so my mind kind of wandered. Alright. CS-4278 knew that he was slightly different from his brothers. He realized during an inspection that he had the skills to be sly and quiet. This got the attention of his CO, who then tested this during a routine patrol on the Outer Rim. Days later, his CO realized that he was able to survive 3 days on his own and had taken out 4 CIS patrols in his wake. He was put into the Shadow Trooper program and was in charge of any covert ops should the situation arise. Now, essentially, I didn't put him in any Legion. Well, I did put him in the 91st, I guess I did. I don't know why, but yeah, I put him in the 91st. I had it to where with this guy, I wanted him to be the kind of like the roguish, sort of quiet guy. He's a Shadow Trooper, stuff like that. I gave him Joshua Graham because of a couple of reasons. For those who are not familiar with the Fallout series, Joshua Graham is a DLC character, part of the Honest Hearts DLC, I believe. In which case, he has a minor spoiler. The game's been out for years. You know, get over it. He gets betrayed and burnt alive, but then comes back alive and gets born anew. So I thought that was interesting that his willingness to survive or so would be the reason why Ton had the abilities that he did. And just a preview of his voice.
Of course. Yes. All right. For many of us, the road is a difficult one. Yes. Yes. Good.
He doesn't say much, but when he does say things or so, he kind of seems like charismatic, just quiet, toned, you know, stuff like that. Alright, so I'm gonna go get to another one. As you can see, he has a Virus Lord. I'll get into that. So basically, we got Khan. As his name might suggest, Khan was known for being a liar and generally trying to trick people. He claims on a regular, and I realize that some of these graphical errors are these typing errors are a thing. On a regular, that he has been trained by the Jedi and has the ability to match even the Sith. What he doesn't tell people is that he is a coward and is generally afraid of facing many in close combat. He only lost his life trying to fend off a BX commando during a hostage situation until he was saved by General Plo Koon, who is his inspiration to be a Jedi. I don't know why I had such difficulties is what I describe. I made this and I can't even describe it. Anyway, the idea of Khan. So when Khan went down initially in the beginning of playthroughs, he went down very silly. I can't remember exactly what. I would have to go back on the videos and watch them again. He basically went and he went down and now he's gravely wounded. He's the only gravely wounded trooper that we have in the entire playthrough. And it's kind of silly. So I decided to go and do a play on words and give him some sort of goofy background and stuff. They kind of go from there. Funny enough with his abilities, right? So going past his fear. So he's really strong as a melee fighter. Having Blade Master, Close and Personal, Xeno, Biologist, where if you have learned and autopsied certain enemies, that he does bonus damage to them. And then he has this ability called Student of the Blade. Essentially gains, depending on the weapon tier, 1 to 3 damage and a plus 15 crit chance on melee attacks, but he lowers the aim and will of all troopers within a 6 tile thing by 10%. So he's essentially a really good get up in your face, move him there to go take out enemies, but you can't keep him with people because if you keep him with people, they're going to do just as bad. So it really sucks, but it was definitely worth trying. I can always recycle these abilities and do it if I can retrain people, but what's the fun in that? Give them their abilities. Alright, our first 327th boy, Eoji. So Eoji started to act like a father figure to many troopers coming in and out of the med bay. During his time there, he would listen to the Jedi and their teachings of compassion. He didn't understand everything, but further improved in time to be an excellent medic and mentor to troopers coming into the unit. He became an anchor for his unit, and he even became a leading example for future combat medics. So a lot of inspiration, both in Star Wars and out, kind of. I'll get into that. There's some good people. I'm part of a group called the 91st MRC, and they are an Arma 3 specific group, a Star Sim, if you will, part of the guard community. There's a lot of good people in there. I love basically each and every one of them. They make it a blast to play with and stuff like that. I met some really good people in there, especially medics that are willing to take the time to listen, keep things organized and stuff like that. So this is a character really shout out to all the medics in the 91st. Thank you for keeping my ass up, and also thank you for doing what you guys do. Anyway, I digress. That's kind of my inspiration for it. Also, I wanted a 327 boy, and I wanted a medic, so that's why we went with something like this, EOG. Now, with EOG, I did give him a different voice. I gave him Ghost 2.
I hear something. Shit. They're close. Engaging in force.
I thought I was different. I thought I was straight to the point, like the sort of father figure and stuff like that. He would watch out for you and make sure that it gets done. So we're gonna definitely make him keep going with the medic thing and kind of go from there. Because currently with his abilities, he doesn't have really many medic abilities, but he's really good offensively. So I decided that we'll just start working towards other abilities like the medic one and just keep moving down that way. I don't really want to worry about, what is it? It's called something. I'm so sorry. I'm tired. Gremlin. I don't really want to use gremlins, and the reason why I don't want to use gremlins is because I like the idea of having our troopers get up close and doing medical, and that's essentially trying to keep them together is what the point is. Let's check his last time stats. Okay, he hasn't gotten many kills, but he has gotten hits and shots. Apparently got 30% lucky. But yeah, that's basically what it is. We're gonna move down the medic thing and we're gonna keep going. Where we're at in time? I didn't even really check time. We are at 22 minutes. Okay, we're doing good. We're gonna do it. It's all good. I'll upload a video regardless if it's long or not. This is really a optional video for anybody who wants to check it out. So if you do check it out, I appreciate it. If you don't, it's just a backstory. Anyway, we got Yule now. So basically, I wanted to make myself a little sniper boy, but one that's a bit over the top. So we'll go over. So with Yule, many understand Yule's need to keep his distance, but don't understand why he needs to go above and beyond to take care of the droids. Yule is best known for overplanning and picking targets from afar. He makes it known to his brothers that if the enemy can't see him, then he's doing something right. Through thick and thin, he always makes his mark, as well as ensuring he gets the last laugh against the clankers. But yeah, kind of like a typical, sniper sort of trooper. I didn't do too much with them. I gave the specialist gear and everything. It kind of went from there. I thought that was pretty nifty. Not really much else to him. That's kind of it. He really isn't that lucky. He doesn't really hit all of his hits. But I barely used him. I barely used most of these guys. I kind of just went with one squad and then another squad, one squad and then another squad. But we need to get other people playing too. He does have acid grenade. He has damn good ground, bigger booms, and long watch. So with bigger booms, I gave him a disposable. Long watch, he has a sniper rifle. Damn good ground, he'll be good there. And then chemist, just in case if things get crazy and he needs to pick them off. He doesn't have shred, so he uses the grenade. Stuff like that. Alright, another 327 boy. We got ourselves Vin. Another model trooper, so to say. CP-6855 is best known for picking apart a bad situation and making it make sense. He keeps calm in the worst situation and nullifies the need for panic. He loves to tinker and hopes to develop a way to battle PTSD, since he is used to seeing new troopers suffer during constant sieges with both sides in a tug of war. He's no medic, but he encourages his brothers, he encourages his brothers to stick to the plan and press on. Straight to the point type of trooper. He tries to keep calm in most situations. He gets things done, and tries to lead an example. So, I know right now with the chess piece that's a, I think, ATRT chess piece. ATRT driver bandolier. I know it is. I'm just trying to mix it up a bit. Like this is specifically as I think a commando headgear. So, but you know, just changing things up instead of like having rangefinder, binocs, range, you know, changing it up. Anyway, we're gonna move on. He's even a prodigy too, so having higher combat intelligence gives him the kind of like the aptitude to handle the situations and stuff like that too. All right, we got ourselves Thrash, the kind of out of nowhere guy, out of nowhere trooper. And let's see. So Thrash. Now Thrash, through new calling process, developed a weird knack for pushing himself past his limits. During a defense on Naboo, he would get nasty impulses to cause harm to things around him. He is a loud, unapologetic trooper that, although quite the opposite to a model trooper, he continues to excel Sorry, I guess I kind of double tapped that. To excel in frontal assaults and look at me go. This can't spell, huh, guys? Assaults and improving morale during rough times. He doesn't have a filter, which allows him to be his true self, the trooper with the mouth. So, with him, I kind of just based him off of Riker in a way when I think about it. Just this crazy, you know, pushing past his limits, taking things out, doing what he does best, just taking out the droids. That's basically what I based him off of. I did also give him a very fun and very loud voice, so he's kind of different.
There's nothing wrong with you that I can't fix. With my hands! The body parts everywhere!
So I gave him Brutal Doom Guy's voice, which is actually, I think, the same voice lines from Quake, if I remember correctly. Quake Champions? I don't know. I know it was from Quake for sure. There's two Doom Guy voices. I used the Brutal one here because I thought it was definitely different. He's a pretty crazy trooper. Does what he wants, gets things done. Nobody complains about it. Only complains that he, you know, says whatever's on his mind. It's just keeps talking shit. Anyway, gonna keep going on. We got ourselves 7 here. I'll get into this whole coward thing and militia thing in a second. Anyway, 7. All right, 7's, although associated with luck, seems to only make things worse for a CP 777. He excelled during basic training, qualified in different areas, but after everything, he is a pacifist. He prefers to stay on guard duty and avoid combat. Sadly, due to his exceptional combat skills, is picked for specialized missions focused on asset denial. Did I do that right? Did I spell that right? I don't think I spelled that right. No, maybe I did. Huh. I feel kind of stupid if I didn't. Focus on asset denial, VIP extractions. He hates to be told he is in charge and usually leaves it to second command to handle everything while he stays back and focus on logistics. So he wants to avoid combat in every means necessary. He has the abilities to do it, essentially. As you can see, he even has a disposal whenever he needs to, but he really doesn't like to fight. He really just leaves it to everybody else and just kind of to stay back. But he's good whenever he wants to be good. So he has the ability Militia Marksman, or Militia. He has 3 aim and 2 tile sight radius, and minus 50% weapon range penalty. So he's good, but funny enough, while injured, he has less aim, less will, but more mobility and defense. He has a lot of dodge. I didn't realize I gave him so much dodge. That's luck and stuff like that. Most of these customizations, like I said, they're just I kind of switched him up every now and again. How is his luck? He is kind of unlucky, isn't he? He is kind of unlucky. All right, on to the next one. Vex. Really did like making this guy. All right, Vex. Vex through experimentation became exactly what the Kaminoans looked for in a soldier. He had heightened senses, battle IQ, and endurance, the best most veteran troopers. Sadly, due to experimentation during prolonged combat, tends to suffer from reduced motor functions, which makes him a high target on the battlefield. He excels best in CQC, mowing down most basic droids with a Z6, and is willing to push the CIS back by any means necessary. With him, I base most of his description off of having all these crazy perks. He has Gun Nut as a starter perk, a random perk. Plus 20 damage, plus 10 aim when using ranged weaponry, but he suffers from defense. So that's why I kind of did the play on where after prolonged time, his defense is really low. He has a natural aptitude that's one or two levels higher. You know, he has area suppression, he has shredder, gunner, stuff like that. I thought he was definitely one of those troopers that once he gets a lot of abilities or so, he's going to be an absolute menace on the battlefield, which he has been. It's been great. High aim, a lot of health. Should I even give him a claymore and scramble round so whenever he shoots at enemies, so there's ammo debuff. So that's wild. And if it works like that or so with area suppression, he could pin down a lot of enemies with ammo debuff. So I thought that was pretty cool too. I like his look too. It's menacing to say the very least, for the most part. All right, Yosh. So with Yosh gradually, oh man, stop yawning. Yosh gradually honed his skill in combat and the art of concealment. Maybe we get the full description right here. This might be better. All right, art of concealment. He generally likes to challenge his brothers to hone their combat awareness off duty to both improve them and himself. He stays focused on the mission till it is done without regrets. He stays on a one-track mind as it provides clarity during high-level missions where one wrong move means life or death. Not really anything crazy or descriptive, straight to the point. He's one of those by the book, stays quiet, gets the job done, moves on to the next mission sort of guy. Downtime is basically his practice time, and so on and so on. Most of these shadow troopers, I kind of gave them the same look. I didn't really differentiate them too much, as it's just, you know, they're all kind of look the same. Well, you know, relatively speaking. All right, next one. Frank, yeah, he is part of the 41st Rangers, so he's a bit different than. So I'll be tired. Different from the other ones. All right, let's go over this one. CS 666-4 is a charismatic, clean-cut trooper who focuses on nothing more than kill counts and trophies, as seen by his rival sword. He tends to have a bad habit to play with the CIS by placing traps and picking droids off one by one from a distance. If he feels anxious, he will get up close and cut down any threat with a modified rival sword taken as a trophy from BS Commander during the assault on Kashyyyk. Can't spell Kashyyyk right. I don't know if I spelled that right. I'm gonna have to look at these later on. That caused 15 troopers to perish. He has the marksman rifle. Because with this current Think Hunter, I thought that was a good way of giving him this sort of like Sev-esque thing. I kind of want to give him the voice Sev. I think that'd be interesting.
Fire in the hole. I'll take this one.
I think that'd be kind of cool. So now he has the voice of Sev. Him being camouflage, I mean, he's willing to keep his distance and pretty much take him out and go from there. Thought that was pretty interesting too. Not too much else to it, just typical sniper trooper who likes to collect trophies and stuff, like he's Predator or something. All right, so we got Trojan. Funny enough, I didn't want Trojan to be a chemo, but the game basically gave him to me. All right, Trojan liked to get up close and personal in all battles, winnable or not. He dislikes to waste time and lets his blasters do the talking. Hot-headed and cold-blooded, Trojan tends to not really care about the consequences of his actions. He also had a bad reputation for being disruptive during briefing, saying that firepower is the only true threat to a battle with clankers operating with one directive: kill clones. I decided to give this guy basically a no-nonsense, hey, I'm going to stop wasting time and get into the action, basically. Him having 2 akimbo pistols and all these other abilities that he'll get with akimbo would be nice. And maybe with time, if I decide to ever start making more ARC troopers or get an ARC trooper, then we'll have it to where he might be an ARC trooper with dual DC 17 modifies. And kind of go from there. That's basically what I based him off of. Not really much else to it. 5 first trooper, hot-headed, wanting to get it done, charge in there. Vandal. Alright, so Vandal, I essentially wanted to... I had a combat engineer, he's a combat engineer. I decided to basically give him this sort of like explosive expert sort of look, as well as carrying a rocket for his boys, for anybody that has regular rockets. I think, yeah, Copper has a rocket that I downloaded the mod for. It was like Rocket Launchers 2.0. Instead of having grenade launchers, but regrettably, Vandal has to have a grenade launcher, which is fine. And I gave him a DP-23, you know, the clone shotgun, because I thought it looked cool, and we don't have anybody with a shotgun. Alright, Vandal is best known for one thing: payloads. He likes to suggest layering an entire area as less things to worry about, and that anything still alive would be easy pickings. He will, if ordered, to move in and dispatch most clankers with it. He will, if ordered, to move in, and I gotta reword that, dispatch most clankers with his DP-23 and high explosives to make sure that the job is done and thoroughly. Logistics tends to be his first idea when dealing with a heavy assault on a planet being invaded. So yeah, kind of a angry boy with a shotgun and explosives. What more can you want? Basically, 327 made him angry. All right, moving on. Also gave him combat drugs because him being able to shoot smoke grenades. When he gets smoke grenades, did I give him a smoke grenade? I did not. Him being able to shoot smoke grenades will make it to where, yeah, I gave him smoke grenades. Maybe, you know, whenever we get everybody organized, where he can grant more aim to them and also more will. So neat. All right, I think this is our last Shadow Trooper. Scan. I know, not very creative, but it is what it is. CP-7330 is notorious for taking his time with everything. His overplanning tends to keep him behind his brothers when taking action, but he excels at attention to detail, having a keen ability predicting CIS movement. He likes to, as he would put it, if you think like a droid and move like a droid, you'll know their every move. Wow, okay, I'm gonna have to definitely work at these descriptions. Some of these are just all over the place. It's not a big deal. Again, most of these Shadow Troopers are all the same. I did change him a bit. I thought that would be cool to have like kind of like that red little thing on his chest while keeping the whole like concealment thing. I gave him a holo target. It'd be cool to have more recon based characters, you know, troopers, where they have like holo target where they can scan enemies and work on their stealth and stuff like that. So that's why I like that. Hunter's instincts. If the squad is revealed, he's still concealed, stuff like that, which should be a standard for most Shadow Troopers. I'll think about that. All right, Gookie. Yes, I named him Gookie. He's also a combat engineer. He has it to where he can do more damage. He can destroy many covered objects with just his explosives. Anyway, let's go over that. He is our first hunter and first boy. Whenever I was getting his green, I couldn't get his green right. It was a little bright beforehand. It just did not look good. So that's just some slight inspiration. I ended up going and sitting there and basically trying to make sure I get the green right. And for the most part, I kind of got it right, because you got to think the Clone Wars series is the color palette's kind of different. So in comparison to something like this, but we can try to recreate it. Alright, so anyway, Gookie tends to, it's gonna be a funny name till the very end, tends to never take anything seriously. He usually likes to make jokes to pass time during combat patrols and even in combat. Even though he is playful, most of the time he knows his way around explosives and CQC when needing to push forward. With surprising agility and finesse, he makes short work of the droids and gains favor amongst his brothers. you know, he's raring to go. One of those combat engineers that is like, yeah, let's get this shit done. Basically, I will blow things up, but also crack a couple of jokes. I gave him the voice of Scorch because just like with like ODST with making and stuff, kind of like the comedic relief.
This'll be easy. Yes, sir. Wish me luck.
But still getting things done.
Dang these bugs! Blasted vermin! And my feet are getting cramped anyway, sir. Blasted vermin!
Yeah, stuff like that. All of the bug thingers, though, we don't really have bugs. All right, so it's not like he has any crazy abilities, you know. It's just essentially just the combat engineer that likes to blow things up. Which in Republic Commando, Scorch is the kind of combat, the explosive expert, I believe. Although all the commandos can do it, basically. Good game, really good game. All right, I think Zek is the last one. Okay, cool. All right, so we got Zek here. He is part of the 41st. There are two variants of the 41st. I realized. Which I realized how close to the 91st colors he is. I had to make the 91st colors actually brighter last time. All right. Anyway, CP-9052 takes competition to the next level. He revels in besting his brothers in everything he can think of. Although he finds thrill in winning, he tends to be clumsy and short on luck. When things do work in his favor, he creates a snowball effect. Snowball effect and gives the droids a run for their credits. He wanted to be the perfect trooper, solely focusing on countless hours of training and in simulations. He is a crazy, willing to do whatever it takes to be the best of the best sort of trooper. He's cocky. He overcompensates for a lot of things, but whenever he does get things done, he does definitely do it good. The reason why I based is basically his description off of like his abilities, ability to charge, bigger booms, you know, the thrill of the fight, athlete, where he has all this aim and stuff, but he doesn't really have that much, or all this dodge, but doesn't really have that much aim or mobility, stuff like that. More mobility than most troopers, and Fortune Hunter too. He literally is gambling his life. Either he does 33% more damage, or he takes it, and that's really rough for him, but he does have abilities that will definitely make it work. What did I give him? I gave him claymores and I gave him frags. So with bigger booms, that's definitely gonna work toward his benefit. Run in there, pause a claymore, get ready for a fight, basically. All right, and that is all the troopers. So I'll go over real quick and kind of do like a kind of panoramic view of all of them, so you can guys see. Funny enough, Talon and Copper are not bonded together. Neither one are bonded, so I'll try to keep the legions together so that way that their bonding buddy is actually the same. But at the same time, I think it's fine that it's not, since they're all working together, so one person can like the other one, even if they're a part of a different legion. There's that. Here we gave him a bit of a thing with the shoulder, Galactic Republic. That was pretty neat. Now, I will say this, that with most of these customizations, so there are Phase 2 variants, and I'll probably just push it towards giving them the Phase 2 variants, with, you know, in retrospect. Sorry, I didn't do the panoramic review that I said I wanted to do. I thought about making one specific playthrough where it's just one specific legion, but there's no fun in that. It's fine to mix it up. But the ballistic shield is so cool that it's a, you know, a Star Wars themed one as well. He has Phantom. He also has blast planning and tactical sense too. Yeah, not really much to show here. He's a Shadow Trooper. Khan is hurt, but I can still show him off. Nothing really too much here, you know. Got ourselves our medic. I think he's actually our only medic, so I'm gonna have to think about that in the future when we get more troopers. We do have two of them, Temple and somebody else, so I might make Temple a medic too. We can't go from there. Dang, it's really tired. What time is it? And it's like 4:30 in the morning. I'm gonna be up during these times anyway. I better get used to it. But yeah, so there's that. We got our 501st guy. I gave him a jetpack. I realized what I did, and there is a chance to give people jetpacks and actually have it to where it uses the jetpack thing. So I thought that was always neat. The modders for XCOM 2 are incredibly good. Some mods are kind of like, you know, goofy, but whenever they buckle down and do good with the mods and make them serious, they do a good job. So kudos to all this, especially Lord Poncho making most of these Clone Wars models and stuff like that too. Let me just see other customization as well. I mean, like, this is a Star Wars Clone Wars thing. I wasn't going to do any heroes, so that's why we don't see any Jedi. But I would make a Jedi if, you know, the situation arose. And I decided against the role of no heroes. If I have a hero, I'm only gonna have like maybe 3, and that's gonna just replace the skirmisher, the Reaper, and also the Templar. With the Templar, I wouldn't do that. I would make like an actual Jedi. And also with some of the commas or so, I made it to where it wasn't the this one specific comma. It's, you know, there's other ones. Just provide variety and stuff. I know that for the most part, this is as close as I can get to the camouflage. I know it's not exact, but I mean, I think it looks alright. There are mods out there to where I can get other real world camouflage instead of the XCOM variant, but it'll be fine. Maybe I'll look into it and maybe I might update it, who knows. They're looking sleek. Not really much else to him. Got Vandal, got the heavy trooper. He's got the as you can see there, he has the heavy gunner shins and stuff. I realized that they were a thing. Also got some stuff on the shoulders, another Galactic Republic one. Stuff on his helmet. Got Scav, nothing too different. Got Cookie. Raring to go. Not every trooper needs like a pauldron, you know, basically what I thought. I know usually pauldrons deal with like leadership and stuff like that, but we'll get more troopers too. Alright, that does it. Alright, with time, I might change it up where the squads are what the squads are. But for the most part, we're just gonna do that. I might not even have any squads at all, honestly. I might just have it to where I'll just choose whoever and then we'll just cycle up. But anyway, that's gonna probably wrap it up for this one. Kind of a long video, I know. But and as you see there, the bond mates are together, the 501st, 2 501st guys together. We got the freaking 87th. Yep. We got some guys down low. And that's cool because like I like the idea where they're like going and like doing other stuff that aren't all just like just sitting there like in a hangar or something. Yeah, I gotta figure out about that outfit stuff. We even got some troopers up here as well. We got Zek probably talking with either Ton or Nescan. There's also, what is our 212th guy doing? It's not looking so hot. Looks like Copper. Looks like he's having a bit of a moment. Needs some private time. There's not really two other. Oh, here's some guys. Looks like we got ourselves probably Vex with Yoji. It's pretty neat. Huh. Oh, where the rest of the guys are at. Nobody's in here because I don't have anybody set up there. But yeah, okay, that's it. Alright, thanks so much for watching. For anybody that may watch this later, I know I probably shouldn't have done this at night, but I wanted to get it done, or, you know, do it late, but I wanted to get it done. I do plan on trying to get this out as soon as possible, but with my new work schedule, I'm going to try to get uploads out more consistently. But honestly, who knows? I'll be doing most of my editing, well, not really even editing, uploading and then kind of putting it there. It might take some hours, and then before I go to work, so it should be up. Stuff like that. I do have the weekends off, which is neat. We'll see how long that lasts, and kind of go from there. All right, but anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thanks so much for watching. If whoever may watch this, thank you very much. Originally, the idea of the customization for the troopers just came from a really good buddy of mine from the 91st named Hollowed. So if you ever watch this, bud, I appreciate it. Thank you for giving me some inspiration there. All right, take it easy now. Have a good one.